As a nurse, I've seen a lot of people with sleep deprivation. It affects their job, their home life. At Room to Room, we want to take the guesswork out of buying a mattress, and that's why we brought in this technology. It shows you what you need. We want to do the assessment and find exactly what's perfect for you.
Hey, you there! Ever try to do something in under 6 minutes? Anything, like say, grow a beard. I bet you can. At Sweet Pepper's Deli, you get quality food in under 6 minutes. Now how about that? Sweet Pepper's Deli, life is sweet.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather This Morning.
Well, good morning. Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon here for Mississippi Live Weather This Morning. Our meteorologist Maggye off this morning, and glad to give her a morning off to do some stuff with her family. Thank you for joining us here in the Room to Room Weather Center on a murky, cloudy, certainly fall-like feeling sort of day. And again, we expect the temperatures will feel more fall-like than even this going forward. So give it a couple of days. That's where we're definitely heading there. Melissa, though, means business. This system, and it's one of those clarifications, tropical systems are neither male nor female. This system is just an absolute beast and will be a killer for locations there in Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, and Cuba. Almost certainly. It is about as strong as it gets. And Brenda, back again. Thank you so much again for supporting us here on Mississippi Live Weather as we kind of have our chat going on here from time to time. We'll give a couple shout outs as we go through there. Hey, rain impacts your Tuesday, but it's going to be later in the day that it starts making more significant impacts out there. We actually have a couple patches of fog this morning. Much cooler by your Halloween with temperatures that'll actually be in the 30s for lows. Whether you're ready for that or not, it's here. 55, that temperature, though, as you can see at 8 a.m. this morning on the average there for some of those low temperatures to begin the day. We're 62 by 11 a.m., 65 by 2 p.m., and 66 our high. Rain coverage around 60% or so by 5 p.m. I probably am going to have to increase that percentage later into the evening here because it does look like, again, we're going to have a fairly high coverage of rainfall continuing later into this evening and tonight. So you can give me 2 seconds here. I'm just going to go ahead and fix that so the next time that shows up in our broadcast, that is kind of evened out a little bit more. So we'll get that all cleared up for you here in just a minute. But definitely looking at what is going to be a pretty active forecast through the extended there, at least the next day or so as we continue to watch these shower and thunderstorm chances kind of move in. I do think there will be from time to time a couple of thunderstorms that mix in as well. Outside, though, right now in the Crenshaw area, showing again that low-level cloud cover there. Sometimes people look at low-level clouds like, uh-oh, does that mean severe weather? That's not what we're dealing with, thankfully, out of this. No severe weather over the next really any time here. We're, I think, in pretty good shape for a while, though there are some chances that do get going close-ish to us back out there into Arkansas and Louisiana. Good morning, Crenshaw. And then there's that, again, fairly low visibility. Humidity at 100% there in the Adenton area. One of the signs, again, of all the moisture that we have out there this morning. And again, as we check out our last camera locations there in Blue Springs, again, look at some traffic cameras there, Mississippi Department of Transportation cameras. What I don't see is anything that's really impacting any travel there. Roadways also aren't terribly damp there in Blue Springs. Just looking back toward the East Coast Toyota plant there on the right-hand part of the screen, this would be the westbound lanes of traffic. Looks like everything's moving full speed ahead and fairly smoothly out there this morning as far as traffic is concerned. So to kind of bring it back here and look at the visibility, that's one of the things we always look at. It does show a few spots there. Tunica, where we're down to about 1 mile on that visibility. Houston, 0 miles, meaning some fog. So there are some patches of fog out there, just not showing up at camera locations as of 7:06 this morning. But the humidity is high, so don't be shocked if you run into that. That might extend your morning commute just a little bit, but luckily roadways are largely dry, and so that helping out with the traffic this morning. We're at 54 degrees in Hamilton, Alabama, our cool spot, coming in about 54 as well in Red Bay, 56 in Houston, 59 in Grenada, 60, only spot I'm showing there on the map, I think it's 60 in Belzona at this time. Of course, major weather story remains Melissa. Melissa is just an absolutely devastating storm in all likelihood. Stretchy there, well over 1,000 miles wide north to south. I mean, comparative speaking here, if you look at how far north to south that would be from the bottom to the top there on that one, right? We're looking at about yay big, and just go ahead and move that over here to the United States. I mean, you're talking about if you had clouds in Tupelo, you'd also have clouds in Billings, Montana from this. That shows you this is just a big, very strong, very intense storm. Category 5 hurricane, very tightly wound eye still on this, moving toward Kingston, Jamaica. Expected to have major impacts related to this, unfortunately, for locations there in Jamaica, including flooding, potentially catastrophic flash flooding, a part of this. So as we pan things up northward, you'll notice for us, we're looking back to the west, to those rain chances back out there toward Arkansas and into Oklahoma. That part of this storm system we have in the central U.S., this is going to slide toward us, and this will kind of fill in with more showers. So right now, those showers from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, back there toward Little Rock and Fort Smith and Oklahoma City, kind of this overall shield of rainfall kind of showing up for some of those spots there. That will migrate toward us. We'll track that in a little more detail coming up in a few minutes here. It's going to take it a while before it gets here, a long while. But we do expect we'll have maybe some rumbles with that as it gets closer to us. As far as severe weather goes, I don't think that's really going to be an issue. As we continue tracking this back toward the east, you can see there that shield of rainfall, Pine Bluff, Little Rock, back toward Fort Smith, still at 9 to 10 o'clock this morning. Still some rumbles with that, maybe as it crosses the Mississippi River by around noontime. But on the wider shot here, and I do want to go wider here for a moment to make sure we tell that overall story, we're looking back toward Texas. Watch these showers there as we go toward around midday, 1, 2 o'clock. See how you have more reds starting to show up, more reds and yellows. I just want to, just for comparison, show you what you have out there for Mount Pleasant, the Gilmore, back toward Jacksonville, Texas, versus what we have out here on the Mississippi side. So ahead of this, we are not expecting this to be anywhere near as heavy as it is for locations back in Texas. That's why there is a severe weather risk for some of these locations into Louisiana. But it should weaken before it makes it into our area. You can see 5 p.m. here, showers increasing and still fairly widespread as we head into the overnight hours and then eventually into tomorrow. I think this low pressure center is still kind of spinning around at least limited rainfall chances into the day. So as you look here hour by hour at your day for today and into tomorrow, we'll be 57 still on the average around 9 a.m. So kind of a cool start to things. We're 64 by noon, 66 by 3 p.m., maybe a few spots up to the 70-degree point. I think that's probably more the exception to the rule because of all the showers that we do have. But if we can get warming up before the showers get here, that makes a difference. And for some of us, that will be the case. Rain coverage, you can see 50% there, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. tonight. We show around 30% early tomorrow, and I, again, might be just a little bit low for what we're dealing with. That still some lingering showers, though fairly light behind this, and yeah, 40s to begin early tomorrow morning, but not as cool as we get. We're looking toward a holiday there for your Halloween that's going to be even colder. How much colder? We're looking ahead that live from the Room to Room Weather Center is Mississippi Live Weather at 7 a.m., assuming I can get my AM times here, continues here in just a couple minutes.
This is an MT345E. I also have a 355E. I've only got 2 of them. Both of them are pre-tariff. These are gonna blow your socks off. Come check us out today. Check us out online, murphybrotherstrading.com. Check us out on YouTube.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lovehon.
Well, good morning and welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather this morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon. We talked a little bit about the severe weather risk a moment ago. It is a non-issue for us, thankfully, here as we're looking back out towards southern Arkansas and the Louisiana, back into Texas. That's where our severe weather risk for today and tonight is. And as I lay on here our severe weather risk for tomorrow, and I guess I could probably pull it to a wider shot to show you, no issues there that we're looking at for your Wednesday, for your Thursday, or even beyond that. We go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the first of next week. Very limited rain chances even in that extended forecast, at least nothing of any confidence level at that extended forecast that we're dealing with here, which is why we're continuing to watch these rain showers here on Mississippi Live Weather Radar back out here toward locations in Oklahoma and into Arkansas. Let's kind of put this into motion here for a moment. We'll make this a 2-hour loop, kind of show the way this is generally heading toward us. And as we do, kind of get a track on some of this and how far it's moved over the last 2 hours. So I show about 80 miles in the last 2 hours. Let's make sure that's right. Give it another loop here to go in. I might be overdoing that a little bit. Let's try that again. Yeah, it's about 60. So about 30 miles per hour, how fast that's moving. So let's go ahead and track that whole back to rainfall. Just doing the kind of raw track here on radar to see how long until it shows, assuming no additional development, some of that rainfall getting here. Again, I mentioned about 30 miles per hour, and then we're going to have to extend that way east. So give me just a moment to kind of pull that out to the east. We'll do a length of, let's say, 300 miles. That should get it through, and then we'll change that back to some larger locations so we actually get some spots that are in our area into the list here. There we go. And so that shows it getting out there toward around, let's see, we're still out there all the way into Arkansas at that point. So let's get some times here closer to us. There we are. Let's back to, boy, remind me next time, this is more difficult than I thought it'd be. Select that for our first. Okay, there we go. So Grenada, we show about noontime, just kind of moving this in. Water Valley, close to noontime. Oxford, about 12:30 or so. Just giving some rough western part of the state sort of times there. Let's see if we can kind of knock that back to where it's closer to, say, locations. Olive Branch, Bruce, about 12:40 or so. So it gives you an idea, midday, about the time period we expect to start seeing a little bit more of that moving back toward our area. Outside right now this morning in Edinburgh, got that little bit of fog. Good morning to you there. Good morning to everyone. Appreciate y'all on YouTube, on Facebook for, of course, following us here on Mississippi Live Weather on this kind of dreary sort of fall morning. 55 Edinburgh, and that humidity at 100%. That's part of the reason why it kind of has a misty sort of look out there at this time. Showing up kind of misty as well in Starkville. Looking from Davis Wade back toward the south. Can't even see the buildings back there. So fog looks to be a little bit more of an issue there as the bus run around picking some kids up from different spots this morning. 57 again. That is below what we typically would expect. High temperature-wise for this time of year should be low 70s, and we don't expect a big increase from where we're at right now as far as those temperatures are concerned. And 57 there in Smithville. Good visibility there, kind of the exception to the rule. But our headline this morning, outside of the rainfall today and the potential for some fog this morning, is this. This is Melissa, and Melissa is very strong. I'll put this into motion here to give you kind of a look over the last 6 hours. Last night we were talking with our meteorologist, Gabe Maynor, waiting for it to turn northward. Unfortunately, that turn has happened. It was expected, and there's no shock that is happening. Making its way toward locations there in Jamaica. We show that eye wall there, expected to make landfall here fairly soon. A little later on today, only 30 miles from that eye making landfall. Close to the western part of Jamaica. Of course, all the terrain that we have in Jamaica, one of the issues, the reason flash flood emergency sort of situations are probable out of this, with more than 2 to 3 feet of rain falling, mudslides, mass power outages, 170 mile per hour winds on this. I mean, that I can't emphasize enough just how rough that is as we're watching the tropics with this system. I mean, that is a Category 5 storm of extreme strength. 901, the pressure there. I mean, anytime you're bordering, we don't necessarily talk about atmospheric pressure as much as maybe we used to in weather, simply because there's a lot of other ways we can show things. But it is one way we still evaluate things behind the scenes. When that pressure is down at 901, anything in the 800s is extremely extreme. So low 900s, very extreme as well. So man, our prayers are definitely with folks down there. Remaining Category 5 strength, as you can see, 1 p.m. 165 mile per hour winds. That's only weakening 10 miles per hour between now and 1 p.m. Now you'll notice it does show by 1 o'clock in the morning down to 140 mile per hour winds. That the higher elevations of both Jamaica and Cuba will work to weaken this storm significantly, but still that is a strong hurricane at that point. Category 2 strength by tomorrow at midday at 110 miles per hour as it goes through the Bahamas there. Category 2 strength maintained, as you can see out there, as it approaches Bermuda by around Thursday, the early Friday morning. That's when it'll be down to Category 1 strength, almost a direct hit there for Bermuda, and then weakening beyond that as it heads into the North Atlantic. But a very significant system, continuing to cause some major issues. And of course, all thoughts and prayers you're willing to offer, I know, will certainly be accepted by folks down there, because this one's bad. As far as airport delays are concerned, no real issues there this morning, despite the fact we do have some rainfall in the central U.S., not affecting any of the major airports there, DFW, or for folks going out of Memphis or even GTR at this point in time, not really showing really any issues with this. We did have some delays back out toward the Florida Panhandle and into Florida yesterday, though it does look like things are good in Pensacola, back out there toward Panama City Beach as well. Speaking of Panama City Beach, we did have there was a tornado that actually touched down near Mexico Beach yesterday. Our friends at Panhandle Weather doing something similar to what we're doing here at Mississippi Live Weather there, with some of these pictures sent in of some damage there due to a likely tornado that occurred about this time yesterday morning, maybe a little earlier than this yesterday morning. Certainly some tin for some structures there, some other recreational vehicles with some damage. Some stuff messed up at a pool there, it looks like, as well. And then damage to a hotel that was completely taken apart by Michael. And when you start talking about a high-end hurricane, that's one of the highest, the most recent high-end hurricanes to hit the United States. And so that hotel there was actually just kind of fixed up just in time. But because of the time of day, and remember, we also had a tornado that occurred down near Gaucher during church time. We always want to remind you about weather call, because now, before severe weather strikes, is the time to be thinking about that. It'll call you if tornadoes move toward your area. Luckily, with our storms coming in this week, that is not going to be the case, that we're not going to be dealing with tornadoes, thankfully. But again, now is the time to be prepared before severe weather strikes, because I know you have a lot of things. We always have a lot of things on our plate when severe weather gets here, and certainly we want to be preparing accordingly for that. So, of course, you could sign up for more information, and that QR code, if you scan that, take a screenshot of that, that will get you hooked up with the latest on what we need there. But no severe weather expected from these showers moving in from the north and west today, with this low pressure center we have back out there toward Oklahoma. You can see the showers do spread into and through the area here. One of the things, of course, we'll be tracking in the Room to Room Weather Center through the day, but no severe weather likely with this. Let's time this out. Noontime through, say, 1 to 2 o'clock, showing those showers again spreading eastward, but still fairly light here. Eupora stretching up here toward Tupelo. This is not even in the moderate category largely. As you can see, we don't have much in the way of yellow showing up until probably 4 to 5 o'clock back here for Shelby, for Cleveland, Indianola, Greenville, Hollandale's back toward Belzona. As that progresses toward the east there, again, moderate rainfall with that West Point, Houston, Bruce, but no severe weather with that. Moderate rainfall at most. Any storms, as we talked about a minute ago, back out there for Texas. So 71 Kosciuszko, that temperature. We're looking at about 69 Eupora, 68 degrees Bruce, and Houston, 68 Starkville, and 66 for Tupelo, 63 in Iuka. So as those showers continue to kind of spread from west to east through the area, a couple of rumbles possible with this as it moves in overnight. So that's what we're looking at here. I'd say more what we call elevated storms. Rumbles, yes. Tornadoes, severe weather, unlikely in this setup here, as these aren't really tapping into surface surface energy, and that rainfall fairly widespread, as you can see, as we progress throughout the morning into the pre-dawn hours here. So don't be shocked to hear rumbles tomorrow as you begin your day, or maybe prior to waking you up in the morning there, that we do have some slightly drier air that starts moving in 6 to 7 a.m. or so before we wrap around again. More rainfall probably beyond that. Low temperatures were 45 in Red Bay and Eupora, about 44 degrees in Bruce, 43 Water Valley, and 48 degrees your beginning temperature in Belzona. Yeah, that's where we should be for this time of year. 47 are normal, but that just shows you how much farther above normal we've been recently. And then as we progress throughout your Wednesday, this low pressure center kind of settling into the area, continue to wrap around rainfall. So we'll have lighter showers to moderate rainfall that does continue through the morning and into the afternoon time period. It's not going to be super heavy, but it does add up to some moderate rainfall in a few locations there as we progress throughout the day. But this more than anything largely just keeps those temperatures down, only 50s for highs. So rainfall amounts 3/4 of an inch or so in some locations. You can see this shows shifting north and west and out of here as we progress through the day, but certainly heaviest rainfall amounts near the Tennessee state line, and then mid-50s. That's about all we make it to for high temperatures on your Wednesday, but those 40s for lows, certainly probably the bigger headline there. We're 59 for Thursday, hopefully a little bit more sunshine for Thursday and Friday. You can see the difference that makes to high temperatures. But yeah, as cooler temperatures continue to settle in, we're only 38 for the low temperature for Friday, 40s we head towards Saturday. A normal low this time of year is around 48. So again, we're closer to what we typically expect for the next couple days for morning lows, but that is a little bit below that. But 70s, that's where we're really below. We start looking toward those high temperatures over the next week as we look toward the extended forecast there. And again, appreciate everyone for supporting us here on Mississippi Live Weather. Our next live broadcast coming up here in just a couple of minutes, actually, at 7:30. We're again looking at the latest related to Melissa. We'll have a more in-depth look at the tropics coming up with that and that system and what else is out there. That's coming up here from the Room to Room Weather Center at 7:30 a.m. Keep it here for the latest, and appreciate everyone for supporting us here on Mississippi Live Weather this morning.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
1 in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
We know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First